Alarm bells are ringing after 2 more people succumbed to the coronavirus, raising the death toll to 3 as the number of positive cases jumped to 110, with 20 new cases reported in the last 24 hours. Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe has since announced stiffer measures that will be imposed to contain the spread, accompanied by a veiled threat of even tighter controls if the spread carries on at its current pace, with community transmission gaining momentum. Mutahi Kagwe now reports.
It had been termed as one of the critical weeks in Kenya, where the number of new infections was set to jump to possibly unimaginable levels. Reality is beginning to dawn, as for the second day, the country registered double-digit growth in the new infections. 29 new cases out of 662 samples on mandatory quarantine returned positive results, pushing the country's cases past the 100 mark.
Out of this number, 28 are Kenyans, while 1 is a Congolese. This now brings the total number of those who have tested positive for the disease in the country to 110.
2 more patients undergoing treatment succumbed, increasing the virus death toll to 3. 23 of the confirmed cases were detected in the quarantine facilities, where 2,050 individuals are housed, while 6 are from the isolation units, where some of the contacts of the initial cases were.
You are quarantined with people who themselves could easily be positive. So if you are in a quarantine facility, please keep serious social distance.
Out of the 100 plus cases, about 30 or 40 are cases of local transmission with no history of travel, some of them no history of direct contact with anybody having a Covid-19 disease. So we are actually in the era of local transmission.
Already government projections had prepared for 1,000 cases in the first week of April. The Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe warning that precautionary measures needed to be adhered to.
This virus does not move by itself. It is moved by you and I. We must change our behavior and attitude if we are to cut the transmission of the virus.
The government has since imposed stiffer measures to contain the spread as community transmission gained momentum. These include limiting travel to rural areas, directing that all on public transport wear masks, strictly observe social distance, and maintain the highest level of hygiene, with a subtle threat that Kenyans were flirting with a lockdown.
It is better to train yourself to stay at home rather than get a shock when push comes to shove and you have to.
Well, it was a sigh of relief for Kilifi Deputy Governor Gideon Saburi to be declared corona-free. His chicken had come home to roost. He now awaits the proverbial long arm of the law after he defied orders to quarantine and had to be forcefully quarantined.
Do not wait to hear of a death near you for you to realize that the disease is not a joke. By the time you are hearing of a death near you, it could well be your own death. And of course, you won't hear.
Kagwe also put social media users on notice over remarks that the government was using the first 2 corona survivors as a peer exercise, terming the remarks unfortunate.
And I appeal to our enforcement agencies to arrest social media users.
With coronavirus infections surging, the government is sounding a dire warning to Kenyans to prepare for the worst. Meanwhile, it is providing funds to secure additional medical personnel, even as it also identifies learning institutions that will be used as isolation and treatment centers. Mutahi Kagwe, Citizen TV, Nairobi.